Yo, what is good, YouTube? It's your boy Show Saga with another video, and I originally had a whole audio plan for this video, but the audio was really low. The way I was doing it, I was recording it. I was doing the actual video off stream, so a lot of complications with it. The game audio was kind of, it's not that it was too loud. It's perfectly balanced if you're trying to play, like watching on the stream or whatever, but if we're just doing like a regular video, it didn't sound right. So I came back to basically voice over this video because it was a very important topic. So today we're discussing whether we need another Storm sequel, and short answer is yes, but no, because we need another game that rivals like Storm's greatness. And yeah, I might be overrating Storm a little bit because honestly, when I got older and I didn't really play against friends when I went at their house, I feel like Naruto Storm has like a big nostalgia value, and basically me playing Storm 4, I liked it, but to me it was one of the weakest entries in the Storm franchise. I feel like the Storm games in general have missed the mark just by like a tiny bit. Every single time they've missed the mark on something. Storm 1 didn't have a comprehensive story mode. Since how we literally was able to play through the entire, really in the entire Naruto story mode, from Shippuden on up, it really sucked that in the end, playing Storm 1, it was just like you really couldn't play. You really couldn't play any of the original story. They had like maybe cutscenes and missions you can select, but comparing it versus games like Broken Bond, it seemed really empty, because it's like if you look at it a certain way, it looks like it's a decent game, and for me it is. What I'm saying? It's not like it was a terrible game. I loved the game back when I first originally played it, and I feel like it has some of the best, I think the whole button mashing thing overall, I missed that in the originals from the original Storms, and I realized that I really wanted it back in some of the later issues. There was a lot of things I liked about the original Storm, but the whole story mode thing, I felt like they dropped the ball on that. I felt like, okay, you can definitely give us a story mode that's worth playing. But other than that, man, I really did enjoy Storm 1. I felt like it was a great game. But moving on to Storm 2, I felt like Storm 2 was good. I feel like it was solid, from them making their mistakes in Storm 1, because it was crazy, because you had a elite village that was open to you, but there wasn't really anything to do in Storm 1. So it was like Storm 2 coming back, and you got the elite village again, but it's not as robust as it was in Storm 1, nowhere near as robust. And then you gotta realize, okay, they kinda dropped the ball again, because you had a beautiful Leaf Village environment, the first time, but I guess you decided to change that, and maybe it'll make it easier for you to incorporate story elements if you were to use a model that was, a little bit less heavy on, the graphics. So, but I mean, it wasn't as though it was a bad game. I love Storm 2. Storm 2 was amazing. Now, if we move on to something like Storm Generations, I didn't actually remember that game all that much. Like when I played Storm Generations, I didn't ever get the game myself, I don't believe. I think I ended up getting the game from a friend, and if I'm not mistaken, that is the Storm game where you have to select the type of mode you want to go into, whether you want to be an ultimate character or a drive character, and that really felt limited. To me, that was like the worst out of the Storm games. I feel like even that dropped the ball, because you had a story mode that was different from the inline story mode of Naruto, taking the difference. But it's like you split the modes up, and I guess some people like it like that. Maybe they felt like it was more competitive, because it was, if your character could do one thing really well, you had the option to choose that way. But for me personally, I hated it. I felt like it took something that was great combat, or combat that was getting great, and just ruined it. And that sucked. But going back to Storm 2 for just a short minute, I forgot to mention that Storm 2 did have some of the best boss battles ever, and I felt like I kind of overlooked that fact. Each of them had their own strong points. To me, honestly, I mean, maybe the original Naruto story and Generations could be considered a strong point, because like I said, I didn't really play that game that much, so I can't really tell you. where Storm 1 had the robust, open Leaf Village, and Storm 2 had great boss battles. Now moving on to Storm 3 Full Burst. And I say Full Burst because, obviously Storm 3 Full Burst is like the same thing. Full Burst just had more content. Full Burst was the first game I felt like they actually did everything right. Not necessarily everything, but it had good combat. It had a good story, good engaging story, and I feel like that was just kind of okay. Yeah, they finally hit the mark. They finally gave me something that I wanted, and I was really excited for that because that meant that I got to basically enjoy myself. I feel like Storm 3 was the best game. It was a combination of taking every element that you've missed in the past and combining it all together to give us elements that you didn't miss. So I think, honestly, I'm not necessarily saying the game was perfect. It had its flaws, and even though I can't remember it correctly now, you're making this video from memory, it's just I remember Storm 3 being my final Storm experience. I wasn't necessarily a fan of how they moved with Storm Full Burst. I kind of got it though, because say you relate to the game, you can get the Full Burst version, and it'll basically have more characters. It's basically DLC, but so does another game, and that I don't really know what to say about that. That might have been a flaw for me, but yeah. Other than that, I think moving on to Storm 4. Storm 4 was great in the sense that for Storm 4. I think Storm 4 has the best combat out of all the storms, and that's obvious because you got to look at it like all these games have been upgrading their combat since. Some games might have regressed and had combat features that nobody really wanted, but Storm 4 had like the most characters. It was basically the Tenkaichi 3 versus 2 debate, and I don't actually understand why games like to do this. Now I don't want to talk about Tenkaichi too much, but if you know what I mean, Tenkaichi 2 had the best story mode out of all the Tenkaichi games, and Tenkaichi 3 had the more characters and a little bit more polished gameplay. So it's like they suffered in the story aspect, but killed it in the gameplay one. And Storm 4 story is what really turned me off because I didn't even play Road to Boruto. I played like a little bit of it, was not feeling it at all. Really disappointed with how it turned out. Other than that, I really enjoyed like the fighting in Storm 4. And some of the cutscenes were pretty nice. They were pretty decent, to look at. But let's actually get into the point. Like, cause what I'm saying, I was describing those Storm games to tell you what I like from the Storm games and how, maybe we need another Storm, maybe we don't. Now, I told you the long answer, I told you the short answer. The short answer was yes, maybe we need another Storm. Storm that would actually incorporate, it would be crazy to get a Storm that maybe, cut some corners on some things, but it can cover the entire Naruto storyline. That would be amazing. Especially since a lot of these games are developed for PS3, and we really didn't even get to see what the PS4 can do on Storm 4. Maybe you can, have those higher games. I think Storm is done. I don't think they're gonna come out with another one though. So yeah, we don't need another Storm. But then we have stuff like Shinobi Strikers. I think Shinobi Strikers was in the right direction. It definitely was in the right direction, but for a game that a lot of people say was supposed to be like Xenoverse, it miraculously just skipped everything that Xenoverse was all about. Customization of the characters was nice, at least for a Xenoverse Type 1. Maybe if they come out with a Xenoverse 2, like Naruto game, would be Shinobi Strikers 2, it would be better and more polished. But honestly, Shinobi Strikers wasn't really it. It was fun for a while, it took a long time to add features that people liked. Now Xenoverse continues to get DLC, and Naruto just struggles with DLC. They don't even really care to support the game at all, apparently. So, and even though I want to correct my statement on saying they don't support the game, of course they give it DLC and stuff. I just saying, like, we talked about Xenoverse should just go ahead and get another game. Shinobi Strikers is definitely one that should just go ahead and start a new game. This time give us more quests, allow us to experience that PvE aspect of a Naruto type, Xenoverse type Naruto game. We needed that, and we didn't really get enough missions. The scrolls thing were cool, get random items from the scrolls, but they really didn't vary, and they really felt like they had no importance or significance at all. Instead of having teachers, which I understand it, it makes more sense than having teachers on Xenoverse, but they actually do anyway. There's just so many jutsus out there that could have been taught to us. They just kind of held back for DLC content. Xenoverse gives you masters who has moves, gives you parallel quests that drops moves and items, gives you a robust story. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I don't like comparing games too much, but it's easy to see where we need to go in another Naruto Storm games, or well, in Naruto games in general. We definitely need another one though. With that being said though, guys, let's be honest. Let's think about something real quick. We really need just another new Naruto IP. Like, another new Naruto game is very much needed. Shinobi Strikers didn't hit. Maybe we need a whole IP entirely. So no, we don't need another Storm 4. Maybe a Shinobi Strikers 2 or maybe a new IP. But Storm is pretty much dead. They had their chance, you know what I'm saying? And they produce a lot of great games. So guys, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video.